Good morning, Texas fans. It's your boy BJ with Bad Talks. As I promised, I'm back after the Texas LSU, or for the Texas LSU recap. What a game last night. SEC Big 12 showdown, or should I say, it looked like a Big 12 football game with the way LSU played on offense. And the only notes I took here were stats, just so I don't mess up the stats on Sam Ehlinger and LSU's offense and stuff like that. But so I'm going to ramble on a little bit, as fans do when they talk college football, as they talk their team. How's the hangovers this morning, Texas? Man, I tell you, LSU defeated Texas 45-38 in a shootout. Who would have thought that it would come down to a shootout like that? I didn't. I predicted a 24-23 win by Texas. I thought the defense would play a lot better for both teams, but they didn't. But what a day! Let's start out with game day. I didn't get to watch it all. My football team had a game that morning at 10:15, so I didn't get to watch a whole lot of game day. But I did watch the first part, and it was pretty cool to see the fan turnout. It's been 10 years since game day's been to Austin, so it's pretty cool to see that Texas fans show up and support their team and support what Chris Del Conte and the Texas Longhorns got going on there. It's pretty cool. And talking about my team, we went and played the returning champs from last year, Super Bowl champs as they call it in this league, and we ended up putting up the dub and won 31-6. Had a pretty good showing. I'm the offensive coordinator, and the offense did a really good job, so it was cool. Anyway, moving on, let's get to Texas football. But great turnout for game day. 46 big-time recruits came into Austin. And after reading some stuff last night, it seemed like the star-studded ones, all the studs had a great time. And I think we had a 4-star commit out of Denton Ryan. I think it was Denton Ryan. And I don't know a whole lot about him, to be honest with you. 2021 recruit, defensive end, athlete, 4-star committed. So that's pretty cool. Again, I haven't looked into him a whole lot at all. I haven't paid much attention to 2021 at all. I stick to 2020. Only thing that didn't show up for the day was Texas defense. And we'll get more into that later. And it was unfortunate to see LSU be able to move up and down the field like they did. I thought the way Texas started out, we were going to be just fine. Got the ball first, drove the field a little bit, ended up having a punt. And then LSU got the ball, and might have been a 3-and-out, or they got one first down. I can't remember. Again, I haven't rewatched any tape. I haven't rewatched any highlights. I'm going off of my emotions from what I saw last night in the game. And again, I missed some stuff because I get hype. I get really hype. So it was cool to see. My son had to come down and say, "Dad, I had a football game last night. Can you keep it down, please?" And I had to shoo him back to his room because it was a fun game to watch. And then Texas went down 3-0, and that was okay. And again, as you all know, early Texas left some points on the board. I was okay with Tom Herman going for 4th and goal the first time. And I'm not saying that just because he called the right play. I'm just saying it felt like that's what we needed to do. And he called the right play. Great play. Nobody accounted for Keontae Ingram out the left flat in the end zone. And Sam, for some reason, God's honest truth, when he threw the ball, I just knew he was I thought he overthrew it, or it just didn't look right. Although it was a good pass and hit Keontae in the hands, it still made him jump a little and lean back. And when running backs do that, they jump a little, lean back, so it makes them kind of swat and bring the ball down. And he just missed the ball, just dropped the ball to make it 7-3. LSU took over, and we had a tip interception aside. Got his second interception of the year. And I wish he'd have took it in, because I knew once he didn't take it in, I was like, oh no, we're having a hard time getting in. This is where I thought Coach Herman outcoached himself. I think we should have took the 3, made it a 0-0 football game, and made it 3-3 and get LSU the ball back. Yeah, it's frustrating. You only get 3 points when you could have had 14 or whatever, but or at least 7. I mean, I'm sorry, but you can't get it. He let his emotions get the best of him right there. I know he wanted to score. We all wanted him to get in the end zone. But as Coach O said after the game, he knew that 4th and goal, Sam was running to the right. I mean, Texas tipped their hand with the formation. Everybody in the stadium knew it was coming, including the boys in purple and white, and they shut it down quick. I didn't understand trying to sweep Sam against that fast defense at LSU. I think later on in the game, Herbie had said something about don't sweep Sam, run right at him. And the very next play, Sam ran right at him and got in the end zone, down on the goal line. So unfortunate we didn't get those plays, and then it seemed like LSU just started clicking. They got a Big 12 offense now, and they just started clicking, getting up down the field. It seems like every time Texas had a chance, they just shoot themselves in the foot with something. I didn't think Sam was playing good at all to start the game. He was sloppy. He was missing throws. He missed some open receivers in the middle of the field. He missed a tight end, missed Jake Smith. Sam, I don't know if he was nervous or what, and I'm sure he was, but he just wasn't on target. And of course, what's frustrating to me is two things that was kind of frustrating for our offense last night was I don't know why it takes so long to get Colin Johnson, our best wide receiver, involved. I say our best wide receiver because that's what people say. Devin Duvernay is obviously the best weapon at wide receiver. Now, Johnson may have the best prototype, being 6'6", 6'5", 6'6", 200 plus receiver, of course, for the NFL. But for our offense and for what we like to do, I think Devin Duvernay is the better option at wide receiver, and he proved that last night. 149 yards receiving, 1 touchdown, or 2 touchdowns maybe. Or 2. He ended one with the game, and then the slant route that looked like Quan Cosby against Ohio State in the Fiesta Bowl a few years ago. That was pretty cool. When he got in the open, it was long gone. Everybody in the stadium thought quarterback draw was coming, and so did LSU on that play. They had showed blitz up the middle and then backed out a middle linebacker, to spy Sam in case he did do the draw. But Sam hit Duvernay on a slant and took it to the house, which was a great play call. And Sam may have checked into that call. I don't know. I hadn't watched it a whole lot. But Sam, I mean, like I said, he started off slow. I mean, he was 31 for 47, 401 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. I mean, we'll take that all day long. So I think once he settled in after half, it took a full half for Sam to get settled. Then he was lights out in the second half. I thought he did well with his feet. I thought he put the ball on the money. That touchdown to Jake Smith was a dime he threw. And then, some to Duvernay, and of course he threw, Eagles got him another touchdown. So Sam played okay, obviously. I thought he played great. I shouldn't say he's okay. He started out okay, started out a little rough, and finished okay. Very disappointing. When I said the two I was disappointed was Colin Johnson. The other was Keontae Ingram. Not because he dropped the ball. I mean, that's going to happen in the game. I just don't know what it is about him running the football. It is about getting his choppy feet or trying to balance out. Whatever he's doing, hit the hole, show some enthusiasm, son, and want to run the football. And if you want to know what that looks like, look at number 2, Rashawn Johnson. This young kid played high school football last year. Stud, 3rd-string quarterback. Comes in to play 2nd-string running back, and he looks like our best running back on the roster. Some of you may chop me up in this video for that, but that's fine. If you didn't see some enthusiasm by that young man, if you didn't see tough runs, diving forward, diving over people, trying to get the first down, trying to pump people up, pass blocking, he'd pop a linebacker coming through. It didn't matter to him. The kid wanted to play football, and I think the kid should play football more. He should get the ball more. And, I hate when coaches do this. You have your starting running back, and I get all that. And, like I said, I like to coach my boys and stuff, and I've been doing it for a long time. And I've coached a bunch of different kids and a bunch of different teams. Won a bunch of games, lost some games. Haven't lost a bunch, but lost some. And I don't understand why coaches get stuck on someone, man. They what I'm talking about is Keontae Ingram's our running back. I get it. But if Rashawn Johnson's our hot hand and he's feeling it, keep feeding the kid the rock. I don't understand why we changed that up and just send our starter back in because he's our guy. I get you want to please the guy, or you can't possibly think. Stan Drayton, our running back coach, you can't possibly think that Keontae was the better option last night after the game got going. After Rashawn came in after the first time, let me see what this guy's got. Let me see if he's going to carry the load a little bit more. Instead, couldn't get a rhythm. We'd rotate him out. I just don't understand that. And it's not just Texas that does it. Every team does it. And if someone can get on here and explain to me why people do that, then, maybe I'll listen to you. But again, I know football and I care a lot about the game. And I was a high school running back and was pretty damn good at it. And I didn't come out of the game because I got yards. And I had good backups. And I had great backups, actually. I shared some carries with my best friend that we talk on here, and he was a stud as well. But he'll be the first to tell you, when I was a senior and he was a junior, it was my offense. Like, I got to run the ball because I think in the moment, and I was maybe the better option, on certain situations. He was, if I was struggling, guess what Coach did? They brought him in to bust one. I mean, he was that good. And then he took over senior year, and he was a studded, athlete that we all knew he was going to be. So I think that sometimes we get hooked on the starters. If you're not doing a good job, if I wasn't doing a good job back there, put my butt on the bench and let the better one play. I'm going to give you an example. We played a team. We were 5 or 6 in the state of Texas, and in Class 2A, and we were playing White Deer, which was an 8 or 9. They hadn't even been scored on all year. I just wasn't playing very good on offense. Guess what happened? I ended up getting Player of the Week in the area on defense. I had a couple interceptions, scooped and scored a fumble on defense, and he played offense that game because he felt it. He had a couple touchdowns, I think, or maybe one touchdown. I can't remember. I know he had a couple long runs that got us out of some tough situations. Anyway, what I'm saying is coaches stuck with. They went to what was working that game. Even though I was their guy, they went to what was working that game. So, unfortunately, we do that, and it drives me nuts. It's good to see the young guys like Jake Smith getting a touchdown. But, overall, this Texas offense is for real. I really like, other than our run game, Sam again was leading rusher with 60 rushing yards. Other than that, our offensive line protected Sam pretty well. We started getting fatigued there at the end. And had some holding penalties, and had one false start. But for the most part, man, this offensive line is playing really well. They're controlling the line of scrimmage. Again, we got good receivers. Quarterback is top notch, and we just got to get a run game going. That would help out a little bit. Talking about offenses, I mean, hats off to LSU and Joe Burrow. Man, those dudes came into town and were slinging the football around. They got studs at wide receiver. Running back didn't scare anybody, but he did just enough to take some pressure off. I was a little frustrated with the defense last night, obviously. I did not understand the 3rd and 17 call, bringing the heat and putting man to man, and there's no way Caden Stern's going to cover that man coming across the middle like that. The minute Joe Burrow stepped up to the left, I knew it. I just put my head down. I already knew what was about to happen. I didn't think touchdown, but I knew it was a first down coming, and he hit a man wide open, easy touchdown if you ask me. And Caden Stearns, poor coverage, poor tackling on that, which Caden Stearns has kind of been absent this year. It seems like it so far. I thought Brandon Jones played pretty well, pretty clean football game. But if we're talking DBs, the corners got exposed last night. Again, they're young corners, so we're going to keep saying that. It's their first big game starting. So we're going to see that, as Kirk Herbstreit said last night with Jalen Green. He's going to be a stud at Texas. It's just right now he doesn't have it yet. He's young, but he's very talented. And I thought he played well last week, obviously. But this week he had to go against the big boys. And big boys are LSU and maybe not so much Rice next week. But then Oklahoma State comes into town, or we got Oklahoma State. So it's going to be he's getting ready to face some big dogs. Unfortunately, I wish Todd Orlando would have helped him out a little bit more, put some more safety help over the top, double team. Because, that's what LSU was doing to Texas. Our best receiver was shut out through half because Orlando was helping. He was helping his corners, even though he's got studs at corner. Then when he put his guys out on the corner, their true freshmen made plays against Colin Johnson. So, unfortunate. I thought Todd Orlando outcoached himself and let his emotions get the best of him in that situation right there. 3rd and 17, you make a stop there, you got a chance to go down and win the football game. And instead, with less than 5 minutes in the game, instead you let them score or give up an easy touchdown on 3rd and 17, and that was the backbreaker. And of course, Texas, there's no quit in this Texas offense. They get down the field quickly, and they score with 20 plus seconds left. And boy, how exciting. I come unglued on that onside kick. Johnson, long reach, dove, had it. If Texas gets that ball, they may not win, but boy, it would have ended up at a great ending. But it is what it is. LSU came into town and beat Texas 45-38 in a shootout. And those SEC defenses, they say, that's all they do is play defense over there. Well, I mean, Sam hung 401 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, no turnovers on the best defense in the SEC, at least top 2 in the SEC. And when y'all see my top 10 come out on Wednesday, LSU has moved up the board. Not just because they beat Texas, but the way they played and the way they looked. They looked mentally tough. So hats off to LSU. Great win for them. But this is 2 legit top 10 teams playing. Texas 1-1. But I'm going to tell you now, come Wednesday, they're still in my top 10. Because how in the world would I keep Michigan in the top 10? And they should have lost to Army. It's not happening. So Notre Dame didn't play. Oklahoma has yet to play a college football game. They've been playing high school teams. It seemed like they played Houston week 1, and we all know Houston's not good. And then I'm not even sure they played last night. San Diego State, Tech, somebody, and beat them 70-0. It's funny. I knew they were playing somebody horrible because as soon as the Texas game was over, some of my OU friends were sending me messages about, Texas is back to having no defense, and Texas this, and Texas that. It's funny because you're the same ones that paid me money last year at the Red River rivalry when Texas went in and busted Oklahoma up and down the field. And if it wasn't for your quarterback, that would have been a blowout. And I've said that time and time again. So Jalen Hurts is playing good football right now, but don't untie your satchel just yet. Play somebody. You got UCLA this week, and we all know the Pac-12 is trash. So that'll be another blowout. I hope you keep blowing people out because when you get to October, Texas will have already played LSU. Texas will have already played Oklahoma State, and then they get Oklahoma haven't played anybody. So Texas is gonna pop you in the mouth. But this is not about Texas, Oklahoma. It's about the fans that like to talk about how great they are. And this happens there. It's like deja vu, man. It happens every year. And then Oklahoma, okay, you make the playoffs because Texas hasn't been very good, and you get beat up by a team all over the field like you did last year, Alabama. And then, of course, it was good to see Clemson to slap A&M up and down the field. That game wasn't never in question. Even though A&M tried to score there, or they did score there at the end to make it a little bit closer. Sorry, my throat's dry, itchy. Clemson was just way too much for them. And, of course, I saw a tweet that said, from some Aggie that said, beat the hell out of TU. Last I checked, A&M Aggie wasn't playing Texas, but it's just hilarious how those Aggies latch on to other SEC teams when they're 1-7 against a team that just beat Texas. And Texas is 9-2 now or something like that. And LSU, and they get to play LSU at the end of the year in LSU. So we already know that beatdown's coming because we saw Kellen Mond, what he's like under the lights. His boy was scared, had his tail between his legs. No shot to Kellen Mond because I got nothing against him. He's just an Aggie, so I don't care for him. I'm sitting in 19 minutes. I've been rambling on for 19 minutes now. There's so much in my head that I wanted to talk about. But, again, I haven't watched any of this game. Second time, I'm getting ready to go watch it now. Some things that stand out. I thought it was SEC-like for LSU to lay on the ground and get all these cramps and slow down the momentum. And they asked Coach Herman in the press conference if that slowed their momentum, and he said yes. And they asked if pretty much you think they were faking, and he's like, I have no idea. He wanted to say hell yes, they were faking because no offensive player went down. As fast as LSU's offense was moving, I don't remember one of their players getting a cramp. And Texas never went down with cramps. And Louisiana is just as hot as Texas. So it was trash, but it is what it is. And I really wish, I liked how this game reminded me of a UFC fight. These guys talk trash before the game. on the field pregame, these guys were going at it. And Texas didn't back down. LSU didn't back down. Then after the match, LSU was the better team on the night. I think if they played 10 times, it'd be 5-5, and that's the God's honest truth. Two equal teams. LSU may be a little more talented because they have more experience. But remember, when Texas rolls into Louisiana next year, in their place at night, game day will probably be there. Texas will have all the veterans coming back, and LSU will lose a lot of people. So then we're going to see. All right, see when LSU going to get to see what it's like. But not taking anything away from them. Hats off to LSU, good win. And Texas, we're just going to get better on defense because that's unfortunately probably not the best offense you're going to see all year. Joe Burrow's not the best quarterback you're going to see all year. Jalen Hurts is going to probably be one of the better ones. And then, of course, Oklahoma State and Baylor and TCU and these guys are going to throw the ball around. Texas Tech, Iowa State, they're going to throw the ball around. So these DBs get to grow up and grow up fast. My emotions on the game before I close out, I was actually fine. Usually I'm pretty upset when Texas loses. I'm frustrated because I know they could have won the game. But at half, I had people text me, oh, we're in trouble. And I didn't feel it. Like before, man, a couple years ago, I was like, okay, blowout coming. Texas is going to fold, blowout coming. And they didn't. They were taking haymakers from LSU, and they were returning haymakers back. It was impressive to see. I love this Texas team. I love how close they are. Those players are talking about going to war with each other any day, any time after the game. You'd like to say keep your head up, but, tough loss like that. They knew they had that game. They could have beat probably a better team. LSU's probably slightly better than Texas, and Texas should have won that football game. But the way Texas played last night, Texas could beat anybody in the country, and that's including Alabama and Clemson. I'm not saying they would if they played. I'm saying they could, because they're tough. They're physical. They're young on defense, but that offense. I mean, you put 38 points and 400+ yards on one of the top defenses in the country, with some studs running all over the place. Big 12 don't scare me. When it comes to that. Again, OU fans texted me last night about it, about their great offense. But when I try to bring up, and they're talking about Texas defense, that's what blows my mind. Like, OU has some powerhouses over there on defense. I couldn't name one defensive player. Murray, maybe, I think he's still there. Texas is going to light that defense. Texas may put 800 yards on Oklahoma's defense. So I can't wait for that. But anyway, I guess we got Rice next week. I'll be back Wednesday to preview the Rice game, and super proud of these Longhorns, super proud to be a fan, super proud of my young team that won yesterday. So yesterday was a good day. Now today, let's see what my Cowboys can do against the Little Giants, and we'll see you guys on Wednesday. Again, sorry for the rambling, but that's what this is. I like to get on here and talk football. You can see all my notes is just stats, and just and what I'm thinking is what I'm thinking. I'm sure I missed a lot of stuff. If there's some things you want to talk about, like I said, hit like, and if you like it, and if you don't, hit thumbs down, and give me some comments. We'll talk about it. I'll message you back if I can, and we'll go from there, man. Hey, I appreciate you tuning in. Again, unfortunately, we lost. Texas lost, but it was a good night of football, and I promise you, it didn't hurt recruiting last night because they lost. If anything, it helped, especially running back. Anyway, all right, Texas fans, we'll see you on Wednesday. Hook 'em. Appreciate you tuning in, Longhorn Nation, to Bad Talks. We'll see you Wednesday. We preview Texas at Rice. Hook 'em.